Hi friends, welcome to a brand new day. It's Friday, last day of the week. Tomorrow is our live program, and I was going to have a guest. At the moment I won't have a guest, it'll just be me and you and whatever you're drinking, but that's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I'll put a link up on my YouTube channel today if you'd like to forward some questions or comments or topics, things you'd like to chat about tomorrow. But we're going to start today with a bit of housekeeping on stories from yesterday. Firstly is the missing Frenchman has been found dead near a cliff. This reported by the Bangkok Post, remembering that about 4 days ago a Frenchman went missing from a Suratani hotel, well actually in the Khao Sok National Park. Very, very beautiful part of Thailand if you haven't been there. But it looks like he came to an untimely end. A missing Frenchman's been found dead near a cliff in the Panom district of the southern province. The tourist went missing, reportedly searching for his lost drone last Saturday. And about 120 forest officials, rescue workers and villagers worked to search for Golio Tislano. So bad news there to hear that he has been found dead. Further to that, the governor said it was likely the tourist had accidentally fallen from the cliff while looking for his drone. There were traces indicating he accidentally went over the cliff. So that's one story I wanted to follow up on, and the other one was the World Cup 2022 broadcast deal has been finalised. This has been one of those stories that's been dragging on with Thai people wondering, well, a lot of you as well, will I be able to watch the World Cup for free in Thailand? Well, it looks like the Sports Authority of Thailand has clinched a deal with FIFA, and they're going to pay $33 million US, that's about 1.2 billion baht, for the rights to live broadcast all 64 matches. Just noting there that there has been a shortfall in trying to find the money. The remaining 600 million baht is still being sought, but a source said that the SAT is confident it will have the funds to pay for the rights. Yesterday, 21 television broadcasters were invited for talks with the NBTC about who will broadcast the matches. Won't that be a bit of a fight? If there's 21 broadcasters battling over 64 matches, maybe just give it to all of them for free. Let the viewers decide whether they want to watch it. And they're expected to come up with a joint World Cup broadcasting schedule at their next meeting with the Commission. Well, good news all around there for people who enjoy watching soccer. And I think there's been quite a lot of controversy about where the games are being played this year, and that will probably continue. But once the whistle's blown, then I suppose all that will be forgotten, and people will be rooting for their favourite nation. So good luck to everybody concerned. I should also thank our 5-Star Marine, our sponsor. There's a link in the description below. They run some private tours to a whole lot of places, including some of the 30 islands around Phuket. And just looking out the window today, it would be a perfect day to head out to one of those islands. This is TNT. As we get started with our program, we do recognise that today is the start of the main game for the APEC conference. There's been people saying, oh, you keep on talking about APEC. Literally going through all the different news feeds today, both here in Thailand and around the region. It's all APEC, APEC, APEC. But I've tried to find a few different angles. I found this one a little bit interesting by Reuters. So this one will go out around the world, and they've found an interesting way of combining APEC with the current cannabis discussions. APEC host Thailand's budding marijuana industry faces backlash. Now let's see what they've written. Near the grand conference halls in central Bangkok, where Asian leaders will meet this week, a plethora of marijuana shops, the Thai capital's newest tourist draw, were bustling despite a controversy that threatens the growing sector. Since Thailand decriminalised cannabis this year, shops selling homegrown and imported strains, pre-rolled joints and gummies sprang up rapidly. It's fascinating to know what people around the world are going to be thinking when they're reading this. New cafes with names such as Magic Leaf and High Society are located just minutes away from the meetings of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation. Well, given that, of course, the Queen Sirikit Convention Centre is sort of right in the heart of Bangkok. It's not hard for it to be minutes away from some of these new cafes opening up, say, in the Sukhumvit area. The proliferation of such businesses has sparked a backlash from some politicians. A cannabis regulation bill to govern cultivation, sale and consumption has been delayed in Parliament, causing confusion over just, I think, what should be in there, just what aspects will be legal. One senator said, "We're in a vacuum." I think we covered this yesterday. Let's see what else Reuters have quoted. Recent weeks have brought a wave of news reports about hospitalisations and use by children. The president of Thailand's Association of Forensic Physicians petitioned a court last week to relist it as a narcotic. He said it was wrong to not have governing laws before unlocking cannabis. It's not being used medically, but recreationally. I think this is probably the heart of the matter, that maybe the intention of the bill, maybe it was indeed the best intentions by the public health minister, but it looks like there's not much medicinal use, that really it's the recreational use that has grabbed the attention of, the public. Yet with major profits to be had, many business owners are relaxed about coming changes. Aniton has ruled out recriminalisation but supports greater regulation. Meanwhile, the second paragraph there, the chief executive of a medical cannabis business said profit margins for recreational cannabis were super high. And that's really where the story lies at the moment. People have thrown a lot of money into this, and money talks. He says most people still think at least they can get the profits now, even if regulations change. So that story circulating around the world today via Reuters, one of the main world news agencies. But some important people have been arriving over the past 24 hours. It's hard to avoid some of these images. So let's go to this one from Arab News. Geopolitics to stay in focus at the APEC summit in Thailand. And there's a photo there of the Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha meeting with President Xi and his wife Peng Liyuan. And the story says leaders gathering for APEC should rise above differences, the host said yesterday, after a series of summits in the region were dominated by geopolitical tensions over the war in Ukraine. I think obviously that has been one of the big topics. We've had the ASEAN summit in Cambodia, we've had the G20 in Bali, and now we've got APEC in Bangkok. These three meetings have gathered together some of the big hitters from around the world, and obviously will shape some of the foreign policy, certainly in this region, for the next 12 months. Thailand's Foreign Minister Don Pramudwinai said the meeting of the 21-member bloc takes place at a pivotal juncture, with the world facing multiple risks. Don said cancel mentality permeates every conversation and action and makes any compromise appear impossible. Wonder what the Thai word is for cancel culture. And the article went on to say Thai PM Prayut Chan-o-cha at a pre-summit business event said the focus of meetings would be new trade and investment narratives. On the APEC sidelines, the Chinese President Xi Jinping is expected to have talks with the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida later today. Xi had been due to give an address to a business forum, but cancelled, and he released a statement, or somebody released a statement on his behalf, going through some of the key matters that he saw for this meeting. We'll go through some of those a little bit later. On Thursday, that's yesterday, as leaders prepared for the meeting, the junta in neighbouring Myanmar announced it would free 5,774 political prisoners, among them a Japanese filmmaker, a former British ambassador, and an Australian economist and former advisor to the deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi. So if APEC has perhaps encouraged or brought about that particular change of policy by the junta next door, then it's been worth all the trouble. And Russia is a member of both G20 and APEC, but the President Vladimir Putin has stayed away. The first Deputy Prime Minister will stand in for him at APEC. So obviously the President has got other matters to attend with in Russia. Moving on to our next story today, and this from Time Out, the Bangkok edition. bright red zebra crossings have popped up around town. And we note that there has been a slow change from the zebra crossings, the black and white stripes, to, well, it was first orange, but that orange has really changed into a fairly bright red of late. So the article goes in to list a whole lot of things that have been precipitated by the APEC meeting. Of course, the Thai authorities wanting to make Bangkok look all swish as the motorcades drive past. Communication poles in front of the convention site have been taken down. More bushes and flowers have been planted here and there. And certainly that strip between along Sukhumvit Road from MBK to like Chitlom, they've done all the paving. It's looking very nice there at the moment. The article says the most noticeable change is probably the newly painted zebra crossings framed by giant red borders found at several intersections from Chitlom to Asok to as far as Prakanong. Drivers should be able to see these red crossings from afar, even at night, ideal for a city like Bangkok, where the cars are not really too kind to pedestrians. And the Bangkok governor saying it's nothing to do with APEC, but we're part of plans to improve the city's infrastructure. There are more plans to upgrade around 100 pedestrian crossings around Bangkok to this red theme. Well, whether it was APEC or not, I'm sure the governor got a phone call encouraging him to try and get at least all the crossings painted that might have been near the hotels where the guests are staying. To our next story. And for the foodies in our audience, a total of 189 budget-friendly dining venues, always looking for those, around Thailand, have been selected for the 2023 Michelin Guide's Bib Gourmand list. It was announced yesterday. Street food eateries make up a significant part of the entries, 84 in total compared to 105 restaurants. There's been a real big change to our sort of foodie life, hasn't there? These delivery services have accelerated. COVID really pushed it forward. But now I think a lot of us are enjoying the convenience of dining at home. Now, whether that's a good thing for the restaurant industry or not long term, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Certainly being a restaurateur, though, has become a more difficult game than it was in the past. The 2023 Bib Gourmand selection comprises 82 restaurants. Just checking out where these restaurants are, the guide's got 82 restaurants in Bangkok and surrounding provinces, 13 in Ayutthaya, 27 in Chiang Mai, 23 in Phuket and 11 in Phang Nga. And we've also got some in Isan. And there are 9 eateries in Nakhon Ratchasima, 11 in Konkan, 6 in Ubon Ratchathani and 7 in Udon Thani. So some welcome additions to the Michelin Guide. I've put a link to the original Michelin Guide Facebook announcement about that in the description on today's program for those foodies that are interested in following up some of those restaurants. And Thai PBS World has listed the Bangkok Skywalk and road closures until Saturday during APEC. That'll be until tomorrow night, I'd say, around Bangkok. And they've got a nice little infographic there. Even better, they've got a list from today until Saturday. Motorists are advised, and that's until 11 p.m. tomorrow night. So I'm not going to go and read all those particular roads out. I've put that article as a link in the description of today's video as well, so you can see if it's going to affect your travels. And from the Straits Times, their main story today, and as I said earlier, APEC is pretty much the headline in most of the regional and national publications today. Xi says Asia Pacific is no one's backyard and rejects attempts to politicise trade and economic relations. So this is some of a statement that he released yesterday. So I thought I might just go through 3 or 4 of the main paragraphs that I thought were of interest from the Chinese president. The Asia Pacific is no one's backyard and should not become an arena for big power contests. No attempts to wage a new Cold War will ever be allowed by the people or by our times. Unilateralism and protectionism should be rejected by all. Any attempts to politicise and weaponise economic and trade relations should also be rejected by all. Just noting earlier this week at the G20, Mr. Xi had called for inclusive development and slammed group politics and bloc confrontation. On Thursday, that's yesterday, the US Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, said maintaining open lines for communication between the US and China is vital to avoid conflict and work together on challenges like the climate crisis and health security. He said neither of our countries, or any other for that matter, can solve these challenges alone. So just a few comments from the Straits Times articles there, covering comments from President Xi and also the US Secretary of State. And before we finish today, this story's got everything. Overstaying German couple arrested in Pattaya who resisted arrest are charged in stealing a vehicle in Phuket and taking it to Malaysia. This story from the Pattaya News. So a German couple previously charged for resisting arrest in a dramatic incident in Pattaya were charged for illegally stealing and selling a rental car, which was found in Malaysia. Down the second paragraph there, the owner of the car, a 22-year-old, filed an updated report to police about the vehicle after learning that the suspects involved were recently arrested in Pattaya for overstay. And this was the same couple recently involved in a dramatic arrest in Pattaya for overstay, according to TPN Media. So that story's got everything. Stolen cars, overstays, German couple behaving badly in Pattaya. And with that, we thank you very much for watching today's program, and hopefully you have a fantastic weekend. If you're in Bangkok, be aware that there are going to be some road closures. There's a link in our description today from that Thai PBS story, which will perhaps list places you might be better avoiding. And I hope to see you tomorrow for our Chinwag, our weekly chat. That'll be at 9 a.m. Thai time. But if you can't join us, have a fantastic weekend, and we look forward to speaking to you again on Monday.